picture instead of the recording. Okay, so yeah, I've got a phone, and it's actually got a pretty decent camera on it. I mean, seriously, you spend a lot of money for that phone. I got a Galaxy Note 8. I'm gonna upgrade, maybe. I have a lot of stuff to buy, not a lot of money. But I know how you feel, like, not a lot of stuff to buy and not a lot of money. So you should use the phone you got. Use the camera that you've got on you. We're gonna use it in the class. I want you to be able to get good video. Now, there's a couple things to that. Holding in landscape, now that's great. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter what larger media platform you use, or if you use this in an academic setting, or if you're using it in like an internship at a PT clinic, and you're helping out somebody who's rehabilitating, you want to be able to display this on a computer screen. Or you're going to put it onto a web service like YouTube, where you'll have space to watch it and then usually some kind of commenting area, right? And landscape is for that. And when it comes down to it, your eyeballs see in landscape, right? Because we see like an oval, like this. We don't see like this. We don't see in TikTok. That's portrait view. TikTok's great for portrait view. 12-second video, okay. But this is for like actual use. This is not just a joke. So we get it in landscape, good. Phone costs $1,000. I know I bought it. I'm gonna hold it with both hands here. I suggest you do the same thing. You got that phone, it's costing you a bundle, and don't do this thing. Do this thing, right? You get it with both hands. Now also, this steadies it. Because let's face it, you're a dynamic system. I'm very dynamic, I'm very animated up here. And I'm moving around on purpose to make you have to move your camera to keep me in there, right? But if you hold it with one hand, you're doing this. There's just all this shape. When you breathe in, you go up, and you breathe out. Getting two hands on it really helps you to steady it. Really helps that. But then the next step you need to do is go elbows in. Bring those elbows in. This is the same technique you're going to use working with a digital camcorder, right? Two hands on it gives you the stability. Get your elbows in so that you're not fluctuating. You want your elbows in. Okay, so now I've got a much better, much smoother apparatus going on right here. I'm able to record some video. I'm able to point it at my subjects. I got to keep them in there. I got my elbows in, right? I'm going to turn with my core. If I turn my arms, it's going to bounce. It's going to tilt. I don't want tilt. I don't want the people who are watching the video to get sick, unless that's actually your goal. But you don't like watching videos where it's all makes you all barf. You want to hold it with both hands. You want to get those elbows in. You want to turn with your core. More muscles, long, smooth muscles, like your core muscles, allow you to make nice, smooth movements with your camera. It's important. All right, so I'm turning with my core. Turning with my core. Now, if you can see on my screen, I set the grid lines on. You see that? You can too. It's in the camera's operating functions, the settings. Right? There's those little grid lines. There's usually, this is a 9 square, I think there's a 16 square as well. You want to turn that on. It's not going to show up on the recording. That's for your eyes. That allows you to keep things in that center 75%, the middle 75% of a screen, of your camera's iris. This is true for all cameras, whether it be like a digital camcorder, your phone, or like a really nice fancy schmancy, like, multiplex camera with the, still photography camera with film in it. Like if you take that kind of class for an arts class, you want to keep your subject in that middle 75%, because just like your eyeball, that lens is bent. So as it gets out of that, it starts to stretch, starts to bend what it's actually seeing. And there is software, software on the phone, there'll be software on the camera, software on the computer that helps bend that back, but it's never quite right. It's never quite right. It'll never get perfect. But if you can keep your subjects in that center 75%, chopping off 15% at the edges, at the top and the bottom, center 75, you'll get some good picture. It'll be clear, it'll be watchable. Finally, we do want to try as best as possible to remove us from the camera. This is why, like, professional productions, they have like boom cameras that are on cranes that are bolted to the ground, or they roll around in Jimmy Kimmel's studio from, you know, actor to the target, Jimmy himself, or the other Jimmy Kimmel, or whatever. If you're watching those things, you can see those cameras. They're huge. They're on tripods. They're on rolling things. They're on gurneys. They're on rail tracks, even. Right? Because humans, dynamic. So we want to get us out of this. If you want to get really good video, if you can be still, you want to turn into a tripod. Or at least horse stance. You know, when you have a horse stance, you get your legs shoulder width apart, bend your knees a little bit, turn to your core. All right, makes you smooth. You've planted yourself. You're not moving around. You're not bouncing. To center yourself, just to be able to get into this position correctly, you have to center yourself. So you're balancing your gravity, straight line down. You're breathing evenly, turning with your core. There's your horse stance. All right? Or, if you can get even more, become a tripod. Get up against the walls. I'm going to get up in the doorway. Right? You're going to become a tripod. The strongest shape in nature is a triangle. Is the strongest, simplest shape. 3 points of contact. 3 points of contact. So, I'm going to put my shoulder into here. I'm going to put my right foot right up into the door, right into the jam. I'm going to put my left foot the opposite way. I can turn with my core. I'm holding with both hands. I got my elbows in. I have taken me, as much of me as possible, out of the recording. I want to get as much of me as possible out of the recording. I don't want to bounce it around. I don't want my breath to influence it. Do it over here too. Right? Got my cameras leaning back. One foot against the wall, heel. The other one out. Centering my weight. Getting me out of it. Getting me out of it. Still turn my core. I can still get smooth video. The last possibility, try this one out at your desk. Right out at the desk. Let's say you've got a class and your professor doesn't mind you recording the lectures. You're sitting at your desk. Hey, look. 1, 2, 3. I put my weight into the desk. So now my arms are not bearing any weight except for forearm and thumb. Nice and stable. No shake at all. I can even talk to people. I can ask questions. Nice, stable video. Nice and even. Okay. Stop.